all of that, we have with us Harshala Chandorkar, the CEO at TransUnion CIBIL, joining in on the show right now. Harshala, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining in. Harshala, about a month back, demand, of course, was going very, very strong. You were at the peak of the festive season, beginning from Navratras to Dussehra, up until Diwali. Clearly the demand and spending in that sense was at an all-time peak on a yearly basis. Just wanted to understand what's happening with retail credit right now, and is that festive cheer really continuing right now as well?
Absolutely. As you rightly said, we had seen since the festive season a great demand that had picked up. If we have to do some comparison, February 21 to what we've seen till November, there is a close to 50 to 55% increase that we've seen from an enquiries demands perspective. And if we compare that to, let's say, last year, where there was a decline because of the pandemic, there is great demand that we are seeing, and it's led primarily by the consumption products. So whether it is personal loans, whether it is credit cards, consumer durables, and that trend continues even post Diwali. If we see the volumes, that continues to go very strong.
What I wanted to also understand was, the big disruption in the market right now. That's the BNPL modern, buy now, pay later. How is that changing the dynamics in the consumer behavior? Are ticket sizes getting smaller, for instance?
Absolutely. BNPL has really been a disruptor. And I think the overall fintech sector really has played a pivotal role in terms of driving innovation, digitizing a lot of processes, and contributed, I would say, immensely in this evolving Indian financial ecosystem and enabling market expansion as well. BNPL specifically, what we have seen is that last couple of years there has been an increase, and there is exclusive focus on the small ticket personal loans, and also, of course, the ticket sizes are smaller, less than 25,000 ticket sizes, plus the tenure of the loans are also smaller. So that's specifically that we've seen. And if I have to quote some numbers here, fintech NBFCs now account for over 50 to 55% of the quarterly personal loan originations that we are seeing in the industry. So that's really a positive sign, and there has been a big play that these players have really made in the market.
So talk to us a little more about the Fintech Explosion, where you're also talking about it. They made a big contribution, whether it's buy now, pay later. We're seeing all kinds of digital lending products as well, whether it's for the Gen Zs, for the millennials, personal loans that you can get in an instant. And all of them seem to be relying on the CIBIL score. What has that meant for CIBIL at the back end?
Absolutely. I mean, the CIBIL score is used extensively in the market for evaluating loan applications. Apart from the other parameters that banks and financial institutions use, CIBIL score does become an important parameter. And I think from a consumer standpoint, it becomes also that much more important that you should be aware of what your CIBIL score is, how are you making payments on time, because it does matter on whether you get a credit or, in terms of faster access, maybe at better terms and conditions. So it's important from that perspective. Apart from CIBIL score, we have very recently launched something which is called as the credit market indicator. That essentially is, a measure of depersonalized and aggregated consumer credit health trends. This is something that is, looked at from hundreds of reported credit variables and identifies the ones which are most significant from a consumer credit trends perspective. So we look at all of these data elements. We've bucketed them into four, I think, categories. Demand, that means what are the kind of inquiries that that are coming through supply, what kind of loan originations that we are seeing. From a consumer behavior perspective, that means how are the balances moving, what are the average outstandings, and then of course the main important one is the performance, how are the repayments happening. So categorizing that into these four buckets, the CIBIL CMI, the credit market indicator, was launched, and I'm very happy to say that if we look at the latest CMI, it is 87, but that number should not be looked at in isolation. It has to be looked at from comparing it from previous periods. And if we look at it, how it has moved from February to let's say August, September, it has jumped from 78 to 87. In fact, September it is 91. So that does show about the resiliency that's there in the credit market, and it kind of what we spoke about, that yes, demand has picked up, originations have picked up. So that's really an indicator of the way the retail market is looking at. And this, the TransUnion CIBIL CMI, the credit market indicator, really has been launched as a single monthly measure, which is designed to give lenders and policymakers the information that they may need for taking informed decisions.
So you're seeing this massive uptick when it comes to the personal loan, the personal credit side of the business. But throw some color for us on what's happening in the MSME space. That's the backbone of the economy, so it'll be great to know what's happening on ground.
Absolutely. I mean, as you rightly said, MSME sector is the backbone of the economy. And what we've seen from a credit demand side, demand in the MSME loans have also consistently been are increasing, and that is thanks to the various relief schemes which the government had launched as a result of the ECLGS schemes that have been launched. So there is an increase that's happening on the MSME sector as well. And what we are seeing is the inquiries as well as originations in the new to credit consumers, NTC as we called it, has also grown faster in 2021, so which is a positive sign from a credit inclusion perspective. I mean, when we are truly talking about financial inclusion, it does matter whether loans are being offered for the NTC customers. So that's really a good sign that we are seeing. And another sign that we are seeing is also increase in originations towards the small tickets. So customers are looking for less than 10 lakh loan size. That's also something that we are looking at. But however, MSME sector is really very vast. There are over 90 million current accounts, 63 million MSME customers, but only about 1/3 really have ever taken loans from a regulated sector, about 24-25 million. So that means there is a huge runway really available for tapping the growth in the MSME sector. And then that leads to the question of whether digital lending will really enable the MSME to be the next retail. I think that's also something which everyone must think about.
Interesting. The broad data that we have right now, Harshala, is that consumer loans have grown by over 100% on a year-on-year basis, and personal loans have seen a jump of about 85%. What I want to understand is if you have a further breakup of what's making this 185% jump, what are the categories of loans and what are the geographies where you're seeing maximum traction?
Absolutely. I mean, if we look at the type of loans which really the consumption led loans are the ones which have picked up significantly. So whether it is credit cards, whether it is personal loans, whether it is consumer durable loans, those are the ones which have seen a significant increase really from inquiries as well as originations perspective. And geography, if we have to look at is starting last year, I think states where the revival from COVID was faster, things opened up faster in those geographies. We started seeing revival there, and that is also a good indicator from our CIBIL CMI. If we look at that, that also shows how state-wise the improvements we've seen. So states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Delhi, those have seen a much positive, I would say, uptake from a CMI perspective versus some states where there were challenges from a COVID perspective. So that's really very, very clearly seen from the data that we get from the inquiries that come to us, and of course also from a CMI perspective.
Right. Harshala, so glad that you could take time out and speak with us today. Thank you so much for